All right. Hello, everyone that is here. If you will come, it's never too late. So my name is Rogzy. Thanks, AmityAge, for having me. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of geolocalization educational program. So maybe for those that don't know me, I've been doing education for the past 7 years, I think, on Bitcoin around the world. I'm the founder of Plan B Newtork and Découvre Bitcoin. And basically, we are running a global Bitcoin university. We have program running in El Salvador. We have program running in Tokyo, in Africa, and in Europe. And AmityAge has been a long-time partner of us because we understand the value of training the next generation of teachers. And that is for obviously something super important. So they asked me to talk about like why and how we need to tailor every program to a specific region. And I've added a couple of lines to it. I think it's also about how do you adapt to the language and how do you adapt to the age of the person. So geography is very important, but at the end of the day, what you really need to understand is like, who is the Bitcoiner in front of you? What do they care about? What do they want? What is the prerequisite they have? What is their knowledge? Can they write? That's a big question. Can they read? Are they threatened by a governmental regime that is going to put them into prison? What is the main area that they care about? And obviously, we always say that teaching Bitcoin is hard, and there's like hundreds of ways of teaching Bitcoin to various different entities. So at Plan B Newtork, we've tried to tackle that in one of our first classes, which is Bitcoin 102, how to obtain your first Bitcoin. And a chapter is like, select your profile. And based on a lot of criteria that we try to list, we get to the conclusion that people can either want to stack, they can become paranoid, they can become a user or hodler. And then we will basically funnel a different path of learning based on their characteristic. Those are just screenshots, but in a nutshell, if you want to find the right program for the right school, the right person, the right community, you should ask the exact same question, which is basically, what is going to be the use case wallet? So will they be able to sit down and use a hardware wallet? Will they have, at the end of the day, at the end of the month or the year, more than $2,000? If you know it's impossible for them to reach that amount because 0.02 Bitcoin, so 2 million of Satoshi, is a lot for a lot of people. So if you know they're never going to reach that, a hardware wallet part is pointless. So you don't even need to introduce them to that concept because they will learn it like later. The same way that in most jurisdictions of the world, your number one choices on how to acquire Bitcoin should be non-KYC Bitcoin, right? So like it should be like BISC, Odor, Peach, LNP2B pot. But those solutions are very tackled to like some places in the world. Maybe you're not going to have the liquidity. Maybe you're not going to have the language adapted. It's not going to be translated. So all of those questions, which wallet they're going to use? How threatened are they? What's their lifestyle? Do they speak English? Do they want to buy KYC, non-KYC? Are the essential question you kind of need to ask at the beginning. And from there, you kind of have like kind of a stereotype user person. Then you can give the right program. And even there, you will need to adapt. So basically, once you kind of know what you are supposed to teach him, so I'm going to teach him money, I'm going to teach him the importance of privacy, and I'm going to teach him how to buy non-KYC. Then at that point, you still need to adapt the tutorial. At Plan B, we have more than 160 tutorials. We have around 80 of them that are wallets. We have 20 that are exchanges. It's pointless to have all of that when you educate one person. We have tutorial for everything because we believe that the educators will need to find the right tutorial for his use case. But when you will be teaching, when you will run a program, you will basically need to pick like one or two wallets that you believe will be the most suited for your audience. The same way you will not say, yes, you can use like Peach or Odor, LNP2B bot, and Kraken, and Bitstamp, and Bitfinex. No, like you are crowning them with information they don't need. So you just say, hey, get bricks, get Aqua, and just use Odor if in your region you have it. Or Vexel here, for example. I know that Vexel is very common here. I will not recommend something else because that is what is working. But in France, Vexel doesn't exist. Like there is no liquidity. The same way that someone in Asia never heard of Vexel, and in Africa they use Merchant Quota and something else, right? So whatever you want to learn, like the path of what is money, why it's important. When you get to the heart of it, which is basically how to use it, only pick two maximum solution and just explain that to them. All the other tutorials are pointless. For an online experience, it's a tricky thing, and we're trying to solve it by geolocalization of the IP address and the language. So if you are in Swahilian, for example, you will not have all the exchange that are not in Africa. Like, they don't care about the small exchange that is stacking sat in France. Well, if you're in France, you will have stacking sat as an exchange. So we can tailor the experience even online. Obviously, regulation and need regulation is extremely important. For example, in the whole North Peninsula of Africa, Bitcoin is legal. So it doesn't mean we don't have students, but when they learn, they will not learn the same way. And the privacy courses is way more done there than in the rest of the world. The same way that we all know that El Salvador has a specific program tailored for their need because they have the tools, they have the regulation that allows it. In Europe, MiCA is destroying our industry. I think everyone knows that. And so basically the experience to onboard a new person is horrible. You're going to have to spend like 5 minutes to KYC. You're going to have to explain stuff. Well, if you're other part of the world, they can basically withdraw SAT directly from the platform. You could give SAT directly to the person you are going to teach without being considered illegal. In France, if I were to like give you right now $5, I need to pay taxes on those $5 of SATs I'm giving you. So my learning program in France, if I'm doing it with companies, officials, schools, cannot be the same as in El Salvador, where no one give a fuck if you just give money to the children, right? So that's super important. Obviously, it's common sense, but still. Then something really important, I think, is that in 2015, we kind of broke the barrier to language, because now with Plan B, with AI, we kind of translated everything in every language. So you shouldn't be afraid to just teach in Swahilian, in Japanese, in Taiwanese. Like, there will be resources adapted for you. And if you don't find it, just pick the English resources of Plan B and translate it automatically. So you can be way more proactive to teach your grandma, literally. Before, it was like, I'm never going to teach someone Bitcoin because it was too hard. The resources are only in English, he's not going to understand. But today, the wallets are super easy. The regular, like, the exchange got super easy too. And if you need flyers, stickers, you get them in their language. So even in Africa, we have one of our students that started like a whole community in Tanzania, and he's translated everything into Swahilian. And then he's like teaching, and like the mama gets it. She's selling their eggs in Bitcoin using a wallet that is adapted to them. So the barrier to educate the entire world, I kind of completely broke down. AI broke it down even more because we all know how it is. It's still a struggle for many of the non-European languages, especially when we do volume. So we have 27 courses for free. When it comes to video, it's around like 500 hours of video. When you batch AI, translate that in 27 languages, it's getting very complex. And when you take a language that is not European, the AI is going to hallucinate and the translation will be really bad. And you cannot verify it. So when you do English, it seems perfect. But when you start to do like very specific sub-language of Africa, you realize that you will need a local person to review and verify. So that's why at Plan B, we have around like 35 contributors from around the world verifying the AI translation. But so we are doing that job for you. So the next time you need the Swahilian translation, you have it. India, fucking hell. There's so many sub-Indian language that you cannot just say, hey, we're going to translate in Hindi. Like, you have to find the right one, and every region will have it differently. So we are working a lot with Bichala community there and the Indian of Plebstrong together to have like a specific sub-dialect of Hindi by region, or have like the most coherent Hindi that everyone will understand so they can have education. And maybe it's not important, but India is 1 billion people. So it's more people than Europe. So if we do not manage to get them advanced Bitcoin education, how are we supposed to get the next wave of engineer, creator, startups that really can like push the needle, right? The goal here that we're all doing is to create more educators. And for that, we really need to like get better. We need to adapt to age, of course. Non-Nation is a program we run in El Salvador, for those that knows. It's basically a program that is taught to children in the high school system from 14 to 18. It's a 7 weeks program, and the goal of Non-Nation is to make learning fun. And everyone says that. Everyone say, oh, we need gamification. But like for Non-Nation, we really make it like, okay, if the kid at the end have a smile, we won. And so they will play with hardware. They will set up their own BTAX. They will start to run a Start9 node with line of command. They will use physical activity to understand how Lightning Network channel works. They will have like simulators of call card on the phone. They will do activities, experience. And even if we remove from the nation at Plan B Studio, we are doing activities that wants to bring like Bitcoin to the real world, Bitcoin with experience, to learn Bitcoin in a fun way. And if we don't do that, the kids, they're never going to listen. Like the attention span is fucking 5 seconds and it's going down every year. So we need to make it so entertaining for them that they don't feel like it's learning. It's just like normal to use Bitcoin in your daily life. There's also a Bitcoin Junior Club, really adapted to even younger kids. And there's a lot of workshop and activities being built on that. For example, yesterday, it was the piggy bank. So piggy bank, for those that don't know, it's a saving mechanism for kids. So it's awesome. But what do you do with that? There's 2 ways to teach it. There's 5 workshops to make out of it. One workshop is to teach the parents how to program on it to create more games and activities for the kids. The other workshop is the kid himself learning how to teach it to other kids. Then we have another activity, which is basically the 3D printing part and the painting with even the youngest kids. So if you have a family and you're like, okay, this weekend, I want to teach my kids about Bitcoin. Do you get a fucking slides and you explain them that the number is going to go up and money is broken and inflation is here? Or do you like 3D print a pig? You paint it with the younger daughter and then you learn how to like flash an ESP32 with like the younger kid. And then the younger kid explain the little sister how to zap through like an NFC connection on the nose. This is entertaining. This is the type of workshop we need to make if we want to educate the next generation. And so we need to adapt program. We need to make it simpler for educators to push. We need to have a database of hundreds of workshops in every single languages ready to be taught. Because the goal at the end is not to have things, it's to have that. So I think 3 years ago, I bootstrapped Plan B Newtork, or 2 years ago, and I said that, I don't remember what I said, but I basically said like we need 200 classes, we need to have everything in every language. I think today the goal is to get 10,000 educators in the world. I came out of that literally an hour ago, and now the whole team has to work on it. But I think we're here. I think we've managed to get the GitHub repo with 25 classes. We're going to move to 50 classes at the end of the year. We have 20 language. We're going to have 50 language by the end of the year. Hopefully. Marie, it's your job. But what we don't have yet is 10,000 educators in the world. I think if we take Non-Nation, we have around 15 teachers going to schools in El Salvador. Mi Primer Bitcoin, they probably have maximum 100 teachers. Plan B Newtork, we have around 20 teachers creating courses. Dusan is training with AmityAge classes of 5 to 10%. They do 5 or to 20 boot camp a year maximum. So 100 educators maximum, and some of them are also working in the other companies I said. Bichala, okay, 5, etc. So basically, we have a lot of organizations around the world that have few teachers. Universities, we are doing 3 master program. So it's 3 universities, amazing, Taiwan, Washington, Turin. How many universities are there in the world? We are doing 15 schools at the same time in El Salvador. We're going to do 100 schools at the end of the year. How many schools there is in the world? Just in El Salvador, it's 5,000 we need to reach. If we take the world, it's going to be fucking a million schools. So we need to quadruple 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x the amount of teachers, educators. And I think we're kind of here. We are getting there. We're getting to that exponential growth of educators, because now I see that the educators we train are training other educators. AmityAge is teaching the teachers. I have people that ask me, hey, can you create a bootcamp? We will listen to the program Non-Nation so we can deploy it in Switzerland, in Italy, and in the UK. but it's going to take a lot of time to reach here. But I think this is the next mission we should aim as the Bitcoin community. It's no longer to have all the educational data under one database. We have that. It's Plan B Network, repo, fork it, use it. What we need is people to take that repo, understand how it works, create the classes, and teach it. I don't care which program you teach. I don't care to who you teach it. Go to your church on Sunday and propose to just do a 1 hour lecture on Bitcoin. Go to your school, propose to do like a 7 weeks lecture. Go to your university and propose to do a master. It doesn't really matter. As long as you start doing it, or you train the next person to do it, or you find the teacher that is like, I don't know if I'm a good Bitcoin educator. You tell him, dude, it's easy. You go see Dusan, you do his workshop, it's 3 days. You go see Plan B Network, you click here, you have like 5 programs to choose from. You print the PDF, you watch the ready to teach video tutorial, and then you just start teaching. There is no more barrier to entry when it comes to education. We kind of broke it. There is no barrier to language. We broke it. So it's just a question of mental barrier that, yes, you can be a teacher. Because we can even add a zero. Like we probably need 1 million Bitcoin teachers across the world in the next 15 years if we really want to have like a solution when the whole system is going to crumble. Because when everything is going to crumble, we need a teacher in every single fucking bar teaching how to set up a wallet. That's going to kind of be the challenge. And if we cannot do every bar, we do every church or every university or every town council or every market. But we need someone literally with the panel, with some books and be like, I will teach you Bitcoin. It seems paranoid, but if everything goes wrong in the world, people will be very willing to listen to us. So it's not about teaching today. It's about preparing to scale the teaching of tomorrow. We need to have a solution that when it's needed, we can onboard 1 billion people very quickly. If we need to onboard 1 million person, how do we do it? I think we should have like a giant port container with flyers and book, courses ready, program ready, and we just drop that in the middle of the city, and we have like 10 educators around, and it just teach. And we make it scale. And then we take a truck and we move it to the next village and the next village. And in 1 week, we can do a small island. And at the same time we do that small island, your guys are doing another island, another city in another country. And that way, we can rebuild an entire sovereign society in a couple of months or year with education, while the whole system is paralyzed because they cannot pay the teacher and the school has the gates closed. So I think at that point I did finish. So yeah, I think I have 10 minutes for questions. Yeah, so questions? Yes. So the platform is called Plan B Newtork. Our booth is there if you want to talk. It's a e-learning university. It's a platform. You register or not. Everything is free in multiple languages. And you go from Bitcoin 101 all the way down to developing on Bitcoin Lightning or RGB. You don't need an account. If you do create an account, you will have like a tracking of your record. We are looking for contributors to proofread, especially in like difficult languages, let's say. And yeah, so Plan B Newtork, and the GitHub is easily accessible. So the question is, if I wanted to do a workshop with the materials that we have, what I would need. So you did nothing. You go to the platform. There's a toolbox we call the Bitcoin Educational Toolkit. We are kind of rebuilding it, but basically that's going to be a giant database of workshops ready to be taught. So you will probably just search the one you want. And so let's say you want to touch about multisig or UTXO management. You just click on it. You will see like various workshops proposed by various educators, the rating of the people that did it. And then there you will have like download the PDF, see the video. You will have like all the equipment needed. Maybe there will be like a buy the pack button that will like basically, for example, like give you all the materials needed to do like a seed generation with dice kind of workshop. And you just teach. You don't need our permission. It's on GitHub. It's open source, permissionless. Okay, no more questions? Perfect. Thank you.